All right. So we are now on episode 13 of season 1 of the Owl House. The first day. Um pretty timely episode considering where most kids are around this time of recording, but I digress. Brock, your overall thoughts on this episode?
My overall thoughts is that I think someone in the show described Masao to a T. And it was Barkus. Your aura is strong and silly, like a baby's laughter.
I can't even argue with it. That's why I
shockingly
relate to
accurate.
Lee so much.
Oh, God. Also, there was a thing in this episode that if I hadn't gotten pretty much spoiled on it, I'd be making a bigger deal. But I'm sure one of you two is going to mention that before I do.
We'll if it's what I think you're referring to, then we'll get to that in a minute. But for now, Misao, how did you feel watching this episode about a month after school officially began?
I'm like, yep, kind of accurate. You want to make the first impression and everything. I also like how it pretty much makes fun of Harry Potter the entire time.
Yeah.
The choosy hat that eats children.
The one upside to having Hexside in this show is it really is an excuse to poke fun at the Wizarding World.
It is. When you get made to put something in a show, you should take full advantage of it.
Exactly. But also, we have to talk about the B plot, which is King is a substitute teacher. just because, why not?
And his coffee mug says "World's Best Me."
Because he is.
I love whenever King goes on these side quests in the first season, because it's basically just an extension of his everlasting quest for power.
Yes.
Mhm.
I love King.
He's good.
Now, we meet a lot of interesting characters in this episode. Basically, everyone who's in the detention track. So, Brock, out of this new cast, who would you say is your favorite?
Oh God, I don't remember the other two's names. I remember Barkus, but I don't remember the guy in Fishhook Earring Girl.
Her name is Skara, and she is the best.
Yeah, I like Skara quite a bit. Yeah, it's probably between
and the other one is Gerbo.
Gerbo, got it. Skara's pretty good.
Yeah.
What about you, Misao? Your favorite of the detention track?
I love her and her pet.
Okay.
Oh yeah, her griffin is great.
Oh, yes.
So, are we going to talk about the Amity moment now? It's a pretty short moment, but
the most middle schooler with a crush moment ever.
Yeah.
She's in the same school doesn't mean it changes anything.
We've all been there before.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Something else I have to point out are some of the illusions that you see throughout this episode. There's a poster for Hex Side Story, which is basically a parody of West Side Story. At the end of the episode, when Luz finally gets her
Sailor Moon transformation.
Yes. And of course, there's so many Harry Potter references that that you'll see throughout the series, but the choosy hat. The choosy hat. The first time I saw this episode, that got me.
And Brock's two favorite characters came back: the little baby with the deep voice, and the school bell with the band. And it just rings a little tiny bell.
I was just like, oh, it's all quiet now because it looks like someone beat it.
It's been through a lot.
This school is full of weird oddities like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the plot of this episode is pretty interesting. There's allegedly an inspector coming to grant Hexside more money because they need it for things. But it turns out that inspector is a basilisk who eats magic. And it's up to our
They
troublemakers
alluded
to
to
save
in the
day.
sports event announcement earlier in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, did you notice the name of the other school? Glandis High.
Yeah. Good Lord.
So yeah, what did you think of the basilisk as our antagonist for the episode?
It was nightmare fuel looking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
That is for sure. Yeah, that was whenever they try to make something look slightly freaky in this more cheery animation style, it ends up coming off even more creepy.
Yes.
Yeah, I love any moment where Dana Terrace's more macabre sensibilities kind of poke through the otherwise, I guess, relatively simple animation style.
Yeah.
Mm. Excuse me.
But yeah, this as far as like Luz's character journey, this is pretty much consistent with how we've seen her so far.
Yeah.
Where she's really all about basically like anti-conformity.
Yeah, and found out that Ada was the one that started the detention track.
Because of course it was her.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Figured that when they didn't say anyone's name and it was covered in paint.
But like as you look at that painting, like, I mean, of course I knew this because I've seen this episode before, but even looking at like sort of the outline of the character before the actual reveal, you can just kind of tell that it's a young Ida.
Mm-hmm.
Especially how the graffiti looks. It's the same as like her trying to take it off on the lockers.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else that you noticed from this episode that maybe hasn't really been discussed enough?
Not that I can think of, really. This is pretty much an episode meant to show you the detention track, and that's, to my knowledge, what we all got out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, but one thing that is kind of cool is their little secret hideout where they get to poke their heads in all the different classrooms.
The secret passageway.
Yeah. There is one thing I want to talk about, but that is a spoiler.
Oh, is it a spoiler for future episodes?
Yes, that's why I can't say it.
Noted.
Got it.
So yeah, so far, after this episode, the next few are honestly some of the best in the first season. But overall, I still think this is a pretty significant episode for a couple reasons. One, we introduced the concept of students learning multiple tracks,
Mm-hmm.
and it introduces things about Amity's character that, again, we'll get to later.
Mhm.
But
And
also
a
it
little bit of
introduces,
each track, like the type of magic you can do about.
yeah. But also it introduces the concept of basilisks, which again we will see more later.
Nice.
Any other final thoughts before we wrap this one up?
No.
Just show us.
So I have a bad habit of not being able to keep my thoughts to myself and just saying things. And then sometimes, whether I pay for them or don't pay for them in this instance, because I have a really awesome friend who would be Ray or Summer from the Ruby group.
Yeah, I put 2 and 2 together, and I was like,
So-
"What are you two up to?" And
So-
none of you told me, so I was like, "I think I know where this is
Like,
going."
I asked her this along with one other thing which she's working on, and I honestly legit thought she forgot because we make the joke about it. She doesn't like to, finish art. And she did. And
Yeah, I remember with the pen when we were watching Ruby.
my God. If this is I don't know if this is a contribution that's going to make it out of the show into this fandom, but this is
I
if this
hope
is,
not, because I feel
if
like
this
I know
isn't
what's
the
going.
definition of a just scarred image, I don't know what it
Oh, jeez.
is.
You know what? I dare you to post this on Twitter.
I don't know who to notice who posted, but she did a due diligence of like putting it in multiple scenes. But wait, the next one's the best one.
Oh no.
He's just standing there menacingly. And yes, before you ask, she did make me a clear PNG.
Stop.
Of course.
I can see it now in future episodes. This thing is going to be in the corner.
I wouldn't know who to post to get this around, but my God.
No, we don't post it at all. We know.
When she
It's going to
messaged
get out eventually.
when she messaged me and said, "Hey, so that thing is finished, but I don't have the other one done." I'm like, "Wait, you actually drew that?" And then she opened. I was like, "Oh!" But just so we could get the close up.
Stop.
For
Listen,
those that don't remember what I made of this comment, I very much brought up the fact that Hootie sounds like Herbert the pervert with a higher pitch voice from
The old
Family Guy.
creepy man and Family Guy that likes to spy on Chris.
Oh God.
listen, if I had to see that, the world has to see it.
If I
I'm
wasn't
gonna try to
planning,
do a world a favor.
I wasn't planning on making anything this time around because I don't know the show well enough to make anything, and then it just got dropped in my lap. Ray Sketch It for anyone that wants to look her up.
I gotta submit a complaint.
Just think, he could be right where Matsuro was in that episode, just in the corner, looking directly right at you with weird eyes.
Oh boy, this is
Whatever I
right
want.
next to me now.
All right, I think that's enough insanity for this recording. Until next time, Yusal, where can everyone find you online?
You can find me on whatever is called normally from us Twitter at Keeblova028.
And Brock, where can everyone find you?
Find me everywhere. Organoid Zero on the social media platform formerly known as Twitter and on Twitch and YouTube.
And you guys can find me on various social media at Captain Cave42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/Cave42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and that place at Ren Pop Culture. You can also find us on YouTube, on Podchaser. Subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/Renegade Pop Culture. Listen to all of our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we. All right, until next time, bye.
Bye.